Alright, with this video I'm going to walk you through how to prime a new epidural line or start your pump, whatever, but you need to prime a new line and open up the box and get things started. So things that you're going to need obviously are a epidural pump. You're going to need a new epidural line, your epidural bag. I know that's normal saline, but just pretend that it's an epidural bag, and then some keys to unlock your machine. So the first thing you want to do is grab your keys here and then go ahead and unlock your machine. And if you haven't already, go ahead and turn it on. And while that's turning on, what you're going to do is go ahead and open up your epidural line. So once you open it up, you're going to see some instructions, and if you actually open that up and it'll walk you through the steps of priming a line and spiking a bag and everything to do to hook it up in the machine. But I'm going to walk you through that physically. The first thing the instructions tell you to do is actually clamp your IV tubing. So what you're going to do is with that white clamp, just go ahead and clamp it off. Then what you're going to do is grab your bag, and I would just hang it on a pump somewhere above it, because you're going to need some space to hang your bag down. Next thing you want to do is spike the bag. That's what I'm doing right now while you're laying on the counter. So just to show you, bag is now spiked. The next thing it's going to ask you to do is go ahead and pull off this little clamp piece right there. So take off that little circle. Now that circle is now off. And then what you want to do is take out your epidural and open it. So lift, and then this lever opens up. So in the inside you can see there are a couple arrows. There's a blue arrow, if you see right there, and then there's also a kind of a yellow looking arrow. I know it's hard to see right down below. So what you're going to want to do is grab your epidural line, and where the blue arrow is, you're going to feed this little piece of plastic in on the side. Need 2 hands for this, apparently. So now that that's feeded in right through that, where that little arrow is, you're going to feed it over across the top, and then where the yellow piece is, you're going to snap that in where the yellow arrow is. Should look just like that. Alright, because I've been sitting here for a while, it's mad at me and beeping. So, anyways, what you would then want to do is make sure that this is in the middle, and then close the clamp at that time. And if you ever close the clamp and it's still kind of open, you haven't closed it all the way, so make sure you reopen it. Make sure that that line, my most common problem was what I just did, and the line was behind the metal. It needs to be in the front. So move the line in the front of the metal practice before you close it. And make sure it's out of the way underneath. So see how that's now out of the way and underneath. So now you can close it without having any issues, and you're good to go. So then what you can do is grab your epidural bag and your pump, put it in the box, and then feed your bag in on the side, getting your line and stuff out of the way. And you can go ahead and close your box, and if you want to, you can go ahead and lock it at that point. So now what you've got is the epidural now on, and your bag in there. You've got it's in the set. So what you're going to have to do is now prime the line and get all the air out. So what you first want to do is go to Program, and you hit Yes to accept that. You've got a couple options. Now if you already had a prescription already set in there, you hit Resume, or repeat the same prescription, if you know, which is really what you're doing because you have a brand new bag, or new program. So what we're going to do is pretend that it's already, the prescription's already in there. I'm going to do that on another video. So we're going to pretend, and we're going to hit Repeat RX. So yes, we do want to repeat it. Yes, we want to keep the same limits. It's going to walk us through all of the already programmed prescription, and we're not going to change anything. So it's just going to walk through, and at the end it's going to ask us if we're okay with it all. And so we got two options here. We can hit Run, which we don't want to do yet because we're not even hooked up to the patient, and then we haven't technically primed our bag yet. So we want to prime all that air out. So what you're going to then do is unclamp this here, and then you're going to just hold down the prime button right here until you've primed out all the air. When you do that, it's going to ask you for a code. Again, I'm going to put the code in, but that's on a sheet of paper, and I'll tell you later, so I'm not going to tell you what it is right now for video purposes and safety. I can remember the code. Alright, so now what we can do is now that we've put in the code, it tells us to release the clamps, which we've done, and we hold down the prime key. And then you can just hold it. You'll hear that it is priming. It will tell you how much it's priming, and you're just going to want to watch the line until you've primed out and you start seeing drips over here. So you just hold that down until all the air is out, and then you'll let go. Once you're happy with all that, let's say that was enough to prime out through all the air, and then you're going to then connect to the patient and hit continue. Once you've connected to the patient, then you're going to hit run to start. So we'll go ahead and run to start and pretend we've connected to our patient. At that point, you want to lock your box, and then you're now running. You can hand the patient the bolus dose, if that is part of the prescription, and move on from there. Obviously, you'd want 2 nurses to verify your order and everything before you start it off, with double verification, and make sure that they walk through that prescription as it's scanned through. So that's that. Thank you.